Well, I was a server at a restaurant called Chez Francois, a French restaurant in Northern Virginia, Great Falls, Virginia. And I was serving tables on a lunch shift. It was September 8th, 2021. And I greeted a new table that came in at 1 o'clock. It was three Asian ladies. I greeted them, gave them water, left the table. And while I was going to get the menus or whatever I was doing, I'm not sure, my manager called me over and said, "You're too busy to take that table. We're going to send another server to the table, and you continue with the tables you already have and finish those tables." So I continued to finish my tables, and I did not have to do any more work for the Asian ladies because they were no longer in my section. Plus, they didn't need anything. They never flagged me down or made eye contact. And when other tables at this particular restaurant make eye contact with you, then that's when you go. You normally are supposed to stay away from other people's tables for the most part, leave people alone. So that being said, I'm not sure if that's important. But I finished my shift and I went home and I came back into work, I think the following Saturday morning, and one of my coworkers, another waiter, came up to me and said, "Hey, racist." He called me a racist. And I was kind of taken aback by that. The man had never called me anything other than my given name, my real name. And I thought to myself, well, somebody has told him something, or I don't know why he would say this. I said, "Why are you making this stupid joke? I don't understand." He goes, "Oh, you didn't see the review, did you?" I said, "What review?" And he said, "There's a review. A diner complained, said that you were a racist," talking about me saying I was a racist. I said, "Well, I'm pretty distraught about that. And I think, I can't imagine why anyone would say I'm a racist." And I said, if this is true and there's a review on OpenTable.com, then I'm going to be very upset. And I'm going to take the day off. And in fact, I may quit the restaurant and I may quit the restaurant business. So I cleared my locker out and said goodbye to everyone. I told them that I might not be coming back, and I left for the day. And then I went home and read the review and got even more angry. The review says, "I went there for lunch on September 8th at 1 p.m. and had a table indoor next to the window. There was a middle-aged white waiter who refused to acknowledge us or provide us service. Initially, I believe that his behavior was just due to us not being assigned his table." I'm going to try my best to read, but it says, "But over the course of the meal, I noticed he had the time and capability to provide some sort of service to every white customer in our section. His behavior was a nice reminder that racism still exists in Northern Virginia, 2021. The female waitress who served our table alongside every other table in our section provided excellent service that matched the taste of the food being served. Overall, the experience would have been excellent and an easy recommendation if there wasn't a waiter." All right, and then she has an update, and it says, "I had a conversation with the owner regarding my negative experience of the lunch we had on September 1st. She mistake the date, at 1 p.m. It says, "While the owner has a differing opinion for the experience I had, he still apologized regarding how I felt. As anyone is entitled to, I still believe the experience I had was far from ideal, and I have my own thoughts on what happened based off the actions I noticed, but appreciate the opportunity to discuss our different views. Prior language of my review could have used alternative words. However, as an individual who grew up experienced the continued fight for equal rights and treatment in the South of the 70s, memories of certain treatment does not disappear." So I guess she just assumed that when I was pulled away from the table because I was too busy, I guess she just assumed that I refused her service. I never used a racial slur. I don't think I said anything to them other than hello when I poured them water. This has just thrown me completely for a loop. First of all, I quit the restaurant and the restaurant business that day because forever will I be afraid to approach a table of minorities anymore at any restaurant. for fear of being accused of being a racist again. What happens when I go to work and every day people are snickering behind my back, calling me a racist, which already happened the very first shift I returned to work. The first thing I did was I was having communications with the owner of the restaurant, his fiance. We were back and forth communicating by text and by email. I didn't want to talk to anyone on the phone. I was too upset about it. So she informed me that because I told her, I said, I'm going to sue the woman that did this to me. And she said, and her and the owner of the restaurant decided they were going to have their lawyers look into it. So I waited, and I got back in touch after a while, and they said, there's no case. They didn't use your name. And I said, well, your lawyers suck. And I know that was immature for me to say, and I didn't mean that. I just wanted her to know how upset I was and how wrong she was about that, because it's very clear. The law is very clear. It says who can sue for defamation. It says the plaintiff need not be specifically named. However, if there are enough identifying facts that any but not necessarily every person reading or hearing it would reasonably understand it to refer to the plaintiff. And the fact of the matter is, when somebody walked up to me and called me a racist, he knew exactly who I was. He knew exactly who the review was about. She described me and the scenario. And so that is just stupid. If anybody says I don't have a case because they didn't use my name, it's flat out wrong. So I started calling OpenTable and complaining. I called them cowards, which once again is not very mature of me. I dared them to call me a racist to my face. I demanded they remove the review and apologize to me and to my restaurant. They won't remove the review. They say that the user did not violate their terms and conditions, which is also a lie, because it's very clear. Their terms and conditions, part 17, it says, any such user content must not be illegal, threatening, obscene, racist, defamatory, libelous, and on and on. The fact of the matter is, she has defamed me, and that goes against their terms of service. And if OpenTable does not feel like I've been defamed, then they need to interview me. They need to interview my boss. They need to interview everyone, whoever they can in that restaurant, to find out whether or not I was upset by this. I kept calling and I kept complaining. Finally, they got tired of me calling. So they blocked me out on customer support. I can no longer call customer support on my cell phone. I called one day on a friend's phone, got right through to customer support. I said, I don't understand what you people are doing over there, but you've blocked me out of customer support, and I can't call customer support on my phone. I don't know how lawful that is. I'm not sure exactly what that violates on their side. But I said, now I'm going to try other ways. First of all, I'm going to go to the press. I'm going to go to legislators. I'm going to tell everybody I can about this story. And I've already told hundreds of people. So then one particular call, I ranted for about 15 minutes, and they have to hang up on me because I don't stop talking. So they hung up on me, and then I got a call on my phone. I had called from a friend's phone. I got a call on my cell phone from a private number. I said, hello, and the woman's voice said, in a very intimidating tone, she said, is this James? I said, yes. She goes, stop calling us. She said, you're wasting your time. Nothing is going to come of this. We're going to do nothing about this. And I said, who are you? What's your name? Click. She hung up. So I called back OpenTable. There was one number left that I could call. It was a reviews guy in Denver, Colorado. And I can't call him anymore. But I left him a message, and I explained to him, I said, somebody from your company, I'm assuming, called me from a private number and used a threatening tone telling me not to call. I said, I don't know what that's all about, but you haven't intimidated me, and I'm going to make this worse now. You call me from a private number and say, stop calling. That makes it worse. So now I'm not sure what to think about that because of the corporate bullying that I've seen. Especially with the story about eBay, the people that were threatened, they sent them a pig's fetus, a funeral wreath, and other things. So I don't know how far a large corporation is willing to go, and the executives within, to intimidate and bully me. But I definitely have somebody's attention over there. I want everybody in the world to know that OpenTable.com is no longer just a place where you can make reservations and a place to make people happy and get them to go out and waste their money on overpriced food and drink. But it's a social media disease that allows their users to say anything they want about anyone with no repercussions. OpenTable.com has never met me. They don't know who I am. They don't know who the woman is that left the review. And yet when I called them to complain about the review, they said, we don't care. Basically, they said, we don't care about you. I heard one person one time say, we don't facilitate the truth. This is coming from the mouth of OpenTable.com. We don't facilitate the truth. We're not going to take that review down. And basically, they're telling me that they're going to do anything they want. My goal is damages. First of all, they ruined my restaurant career. I'm out of the restaurant business for good. I went to the emergency room 4 times with hypertension within 2 weeks after this event. I thought I was having a heart attack. I thought I was going to die. I'm now on blood pressure medication and antidepressants, and I have never been on pills my whole life. I can't work in a restaurant anymore. I'm doing Uber right now because of it. I want everyone in the world to know, because this happens to a lot of people, and I'm not very important. I'm just a guy, and nobody cares about me. There are many people that are way more important about me that are getting treated a lot worse. And I'm sure other people have stories like this. And this isn't a story about somebody that's upset about a product that they bought or something. And I don't want to diminish any of your users or your complaints, because they're all important. But this is different. This is about people that are getting their lives ruined, their careers ruined, and corporate bullying. And OpenTable.com needs to be exposed for the cowards they are. If somebody calls them and says, I'm complaining about a review, somebody called me a racist, and I'm not a racist, and it's ruined my life and my career, they should care. They should look into it. And they obviously did not care. And that's a serious problem. And sooner or later, somebody important enough is going to hear my story, and they're going to back me up. And I'm not going to give up on this for the rest of my life. I'm going to continue to complain and go public and demand that they apologize to me. I have nothing bad to say about my restaurant. Those people were great to me. I have nothing but good things to say about my restaurant, and they deserve an apology just as well as I do. No, the damage is done. The damage is done. I will no longer walk into a restaurant and be judged by not only every waiter, every busser, every kitchen staff, every manager, but then every diner. I'm not going to expose myself to that. If somebody comes into that restaurant, decides that I'm a racist, and leaves another review, then that's 2. People can assume all they want. People have they live in their own little worlds, and they think they got it all figured out. My focus went right completely away from the woman that put that review up, because people are assumptive and very ignorant. My focus went right to OpenTable.com, because they allowed it to be printed for the world to see. And the fact that the first coworker that greeted me the next shift I came in called me a racist. Therefore, I have to assume that everybody in that restaurant knew exactly who that woman was talking about, and they might now think I'm a racist. I don't know what the owners of the restaurant would think about me moving forward. Any of my coworkers, most of them are minorities. It's devastating. It's devastating. I wouldn't even work at another restaurant. There's nothing that they can do to get me back into the restaurant business. They've ruined my career, first of all, period. I was planning on being in the restaurant business for another 10 years, I'm sure. I struggled with it. I didn't like it very much. I had nerve damage in my feet and all kinds of stuff. But I was planning on doing it for a while, and now it's over. And the worst part is, for me, is realizing that an innocent little website like OpenTable.com is capable of such immorality, horrible immorality. And I don't know what to think now. Should I fear for my life? I mean, an executive from that company, a $190 million company, calls me from a private number, not willing to call me from a regular number so it would be recorded, but wanted to send me a message, basically saying, "I got you. We got you. Shut your mouth and leave us alone." I told one of their people, I said, I asked him, I said, "Do you understand analogy?" Because I read somewhere recently that if somebody can't comprehend analogy or hypothesis, it says sign of low intellect. So I said, can you understand analogy? He said, yes. I said, good. Here's one for you. There's a lady in the town center. She says, hey, that guy's a racist. I don't know him. You don't know him. Neither one of us have ever met him. But here's $5 and a megaphone. Tell everyone else in town he's a racist. I said, that's what you are, OpenTable.com. You're the creep with the megaphone. I said, and here I am sitting on the park bench. And what do? Do I approach you and say, sir, excuse me, I'm offended by that. I'm the person you're talking about, and I'm not a racist. Please stop doing that. And what if he says, screw you, I'm going to keep doing it? What do? Do I push him down? Do I yank the megaphone out of his hand? No, I get arrested for assault and I go to jail. I don't feel like I need $25,000 in lawyers to argue my case with them. They should man up or woman up and face me and tell me exactly why they think I haven't been defamed and exactly why they're going to not facilitate the truth and tell me that what they've done is immoral, right? Why do I need 25,000? Why do they hide behind their lawyers and their terms and conditions and say, screw you, we're going to say anything about you we want? Why can't I just tell them, this is me, you're wrong, I'm right, you tell me why you're right, and I'll argue? No, I have to spend $25,000 and hire freaking lawyers and then sit down with them multiple times, finally go to court. Who knows? Are they going to settle? Am I going to have to go to court and fight in front of a jury? You know what would happen to that woman? I would eviscerate her on the stand. She would not be able to say, you are a racist under oath. She would not. OpenTable.com would not be able to say that their users did not defame me in court. I would get crushed with all the other crap that I don't know about. Any lawyer will crush me, but that wouldn't happen. My point is, this company is despicable, and their practices are shady and criminal. To call me on a private number and use an intimidating tone to their voice and say, stop calling us, when I know that it's a $190 million company, and I don't know how powerful they are, and I don't know what influence they have, and I don't know how far reaching their executives are willing to go to intimidate me. Are they going to send me a funeral wreath now, or a pig fetus? Are they going to send me a book that says how to deal with the loss of a spouse, like eBay did to the people that they didn't like? They're despicable people. And I don't know how much opinion I should give on this, but I'm not gonna embellish or rant too much, and I hope I'm not doing that.